Alright, so this is Devlog number 4. Uh, Today is, what is it, October 5th, 2024. Um, it's been a long time, actually, since the last Devlog. It's been at least a year and a half. I think it was like October, or no. It was February 2023, I think, was the last one. But, um, yeah, things have been, coming along. Um, as always, of course, but last couple months at least, it's been off and on because I've actually been back in college. So it's been, uh, uh, it's not like every day that I've been working on it like it was back in the day. Uh, but things are coming along still. Um, have you always been able to run this fast? If it, yeah. Uh, why the fuck is there? Okay. Well, um, should probably say stuff. This is Shrekville, of course. Um, what's been done since last devlog? Lots of buildings and sprites and stuff updated, and I mean, I guess the main thing that's happened since um last year is that basically the whole first half of the game, like cutscenes and content and stuff, is done. I mean, I say first half of the game. I mean first half of um, this first part, which is probably going to be the entire game. But the first dungeon, basically, I got through with that. Uh, it does need some editing, probably, but uh, lots of stuff going on in Shrekville, and that's what I've been working on recently is updating buildings and stuff. So not only um, so some of the old building sprites which were out here that I didn't really like, for instance, the McDonald's. Uh, well, the inside's the fucking same, but the outside is different. You can see lots of. I actually do like a lot of the sprites here. Um, and it was a good thing to because there I did not like a lot of the old sprites. Obviously, that's why I changed them. So um, got the pawn store, we got the shop store. Uh, Not a whole lot going on in this area, but also what I've been working on recently is the downtown area over here. So I wasn't sure if I was gonna do this downtown place. Um, it was kind of like at least the plan for a while was that the fungus labs and then the gardens were gonna be like the two parts and like the two dungeons, but uh, kind of somewhat into development, I was like, I don't want Shrekville to be literally you visit it once at the start of the game and then you can go around it after the dungeons are done and that's it. I wanted you to like be able to go back and and explore this place for what it's worth. So ooh yeah, and I needed to talk about cards too. Cards are the big thing. Cards are another huge thing that's happened. Um, so basically, I'm planning for the second dungeon to be somewhere in this downtown area. I don't have like a hundred. I've got some ideas, obviously, but I don't have like 100% um idea on what exactly it's going to be yet. Uh, but anyway, here's some car sprites that I just made that are very nice. I like them. Uh, just working on buildings down there. This is Dr. Ricky's house. Uh, this is kind of business suites over here. And this is actually the sprite here is not layered. But this is oh, Fugler's. It's like a restaurant, like an Irish kind of pub-ish place. If you can see that. Uh, so no interiors for these yet, but I am working on it. I'm working on all of it. This is a work in progress, obviously. So, but this was this is just the most recent thing that I've been doing. Okay. All right, my dog's barking. Um, so going back to I won't actually. I'm not gonna show off the dungeons. I don't think. I mean, not in depth. I mean, I guess I can go for a little bit. This is the first room here that you fall into, and there's a hallway. Yeah, but these are the fungus labs. Um, and I think there might have been a little bit. I think actually it was just the test room that I was in that was like this specific room over here. Uh, was was it? But it was like in the debug area. It wasn't actually the real thing. So this should kind of give you the gist. There is actually a whole finished dungeon here with a lot of cutscenes. You won't see any of the cutscenes obviously because we're in debug mode right now, but uh, that's all there. Trust me, I'm not gonna show it off and go in depth because I don't think it's really relevant. But there's kind of a lot of stuff, couple boss battles, kind of. Um, just I guess trust me on that. I guess once the game comes out or once it gets play tested, you'll actually see it. But not much interesting to go over in this just devlog thing. So uh, just keep in mind that that is where a lot of the work has been, and the dungeon, the first dungeon there is essentially done. Uh, and then this is kind of a rework of the gardens. This is also in progress. Uh, been having a real hard time being motivated to actually finish this because it's I don't know. I don't know how to. What do I want to say? It's just kind of like I'm not sure what to do, especially. So this is the office area. This is where you're gonna meet Princess Kill, or Kilvia, as she is now dubbed. This is not a finished building over here. This is where I was planning for this other plant research area to be. And then up here, there's going to be a different thing. Again, this is obviously unfinished, but we've got some sprites here for it. And of course the tile map has kind of been worked on. This part over here is the most finished part, as you can see. You know what else is a lot like very very different is the battle system, and that's probably the main thing to show off here. Uh, it looks completely different, as you can see. Uh, I mean, not completely different, but quite different. Um, a lot of changes have been going into this, and I'll show some other stuff up as well. Um, Farrell is also here. Look at him. So, after a long kind of thinking period about, like, this first part of the game is going to be pretty much it, I believe. I don't think that much else is going to be made. Just because of copyright concerns, like, I don't think I could make this entire game. And with how long it's already taken, I mean, it's been 3.5 years of good development. I mean, off and on development, but I'm just like, if this is all it's going to be, that, like, yes, I would like Farrell actually in the game, so he is here, and actually he works. So, I'm pretty sure this is new. Uh, New menu for characters and stuff. I didn't like the old one. I mean, it was kind of all over the place in terms of. Oh, this is a new pause menu too, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. The pause menu was redone too. Uh, Lots of stuff actually here. I'm just realizing. Um, so this is the character menu. As you can see, the special attacks have kind of been combined into this. They weren't in the same place in the last one, I don't think. Um, Everyone has their own special attacks, and everyone also has their own little icons. Feral has a little sushi roll. Uh, Doggy has a waffle. Garfield has a lasagna. I actually don't even know if Donkey was a playable character in the last one. I guess, yeah, Donkey's a playable character too. Donkey and Feral. um, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since yeah. Yeah, so not just Shrek and Garfield anymore. It's all four of these guys. So, and of course with, these are the four that are going to be in this part of the game, and this part of the game is probably going to be it. But I also have plans to add some more characters, possibly if the game goes past just this one part. So, we'll see. Inventory menu is kind of the same too. Shop menu is different. I actually just watched the last devlog, and this was completely different. Uh, Lots of items. Lots of items. Da, da, da. So yeah, this is. I mean, this is not super interesting. This is just kind of the same as last time. The equipment menu. This is new. Um, Again, this is kind of its own thing. It used to be in the character menu. Got separated. Got redesigned. So, um, quest menu is new. This is all. This is all debug stuff. Uh, but there's a menu for quests. I kind of want to redo it because it's not super user-friendly. But options and stuff, that's already been done. Okay, so that is menu stuff. I guess the last big thing to show off in that case, and I mean definitely the biggest thing. Last devlog, there were still right attacks, and at some point, I just because the game was going in a different direction, um, and I didn't like the right attacks from a design standpoint, where it was very. My intention, at least, was to kind of have them be used in a more dynamic way, you know. But with how it was set up, um, a lot of it was there would be certain enemies, and the right attacks would be like, oh yeah, this is the one answer to this kind of enemy. Like this is there are like maybe six right attacks, and they all do things, and like certain enemies are countered by those things and those things alone. So not super, not a very good gameplay, uh, not very fun, I should say. Not very fun to be like, oh, here's the one answer to this boss. Like, what do you do? And that's it. Um, and sort of the idea for more freedom of just choice over, you know, this stuff, and more like not for there to be like one specific solution to a problem. Kind of came the idea of instead of right attacks, there are cards. Now, what do cards have to do thematically with this game? I couldn't tell you. uh, I mean, that's one of the things I guess I lacked the foresight. I mean, I don't think it's bad, but like it's kind of different. It's kind of different from the rest, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It's uh a little they're a little odd. So let's just get right into it. Uh, so you can access this from going to the card menu, and here we are. So there's music for this. It's in debug mode, so I can't actually. I can. I think I can. There we go. I just had to show off this track. I really like it. Da, 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 da. Okay. Not actually though. I need to show it off. So these are cards. Um. So basically, the deal with this is they are similar to right attacks in the fact that they are these special attacks that happen in addition to the regular stuff that's going on in battle. Um, and you'll see when I can show it off here in a minute. Uh, Pretty much it's every couple turns, or like so I think turn two. So the start of turn two, you draw your first card of the battle, and it takes one of the cards from your deck just at random, or not one. It takes three. So you draw three cards in a draw, and you get to choose one of those cards to play on a target. So you, as a player, get to choose your deck. This is the base deck. It's got just some basic cards, nothing too special. Um, so as you can see, we've got some basic attacking ones on the top here. These ones are actually, you can do an infinite amount of them, just so you can't like soft lock yourself or like glitch the game out and accidentally have not enough cards to make a proper deck. So you have attacking cards. This one is Heal Blessing. It's a heal card. This one restores SP. This one revives a character, and it's complete garbage. uh, this one gives you defense. This one is another attacking card that attacks all enemies. This one is a status effect card. So there are a lot of these, a good amount of these. I mean, I think there are 38, so there are 32 of the standard spell cards, and I think there are 6 of there's a playing card deck too. I'll get into those. Um so these all work, by the way. If you're wondering that, uh they do work. Like you can use them in battle, and I'll use some of them in a second here. Um so physical damage, emotional damage. Just a good amount of variety in terms of card effects is what I've been trying to go for. Spell cards are kind of... Spell cards, I guess, are more just like kind of a basic, uh, just your basic stuff. Nothing too special in terms of just they do what they say. They have one thing that they do, and they do it. Nothing too complicated, you know. So at least that's the design philosophy behind it. And at the same time, um, since these are in addition to the regular attacks that you do, I also don't want to make them so good that like you can rely on the cards just exclusively, where like cards are the main thing you're attacking with and just your characters are secondary. I want it to be kind of equally balanced between that. So like cards are an important part of your game plan, and making a good deck and collecting cards to make a good deck is a very good it's very important to the strategy of the game. Um, but they're not so overpowered is what I've been trying to do, is that they just it like there's no point to doing anything with characters because this is like all you do. So Uh, so yeah. In addition to the spell cards, we also have a couple praying cards. Ones. They're at least my plan is to make maybe a couple. I mean, in the first part anyway. I might make one or two other like special sets of cards. So the playing cards, basically the gimmick with them is that the effects have some element of randomness to them. So the Ace of Spades is actually a one cost card, so it's a very cheap card. You can play it and then play another card next turn, but it has really not good attack power usually. Like it can actually like if you get lucky, it can go up to like I think 200 power, which is like more than uh it's good. It has the potential to be a very strong card, but normally it's going to be like less than even like a normal uh like a normal just like character attack. So, it's just kind of a again, it has to do with chance is what I'm going for with this one. Um so the 2 of hearts heals a random party member. Uh the 3 of clubs strikes all enemies a random number of times. And then the Jack of diamonds gives all enemies on the field a random status effect. So that can be any like physical ones, and there are a few. There are actually a lot of new status effects that uh, I haven't shown off, but that's the thing about the devlog right now is that like it's not a whole lot of like areas that can be shown off and that sort of stuff and features other than like the cards. It's more like it's a lot of small like more polishing stuff and that. So So there's also the color and the colorless Joker. So these are the ones that I feel like will get the most usage, especially the colorless one. Um, so the Joker, as you can see, it copies the effect of a random card from your deck and uses it on like a random enemy. Um, so and the thing about that is it costs 1 turn, which means regardless of what card it picks. If it picks a 4 cost card, it's gonna cost 1. So that's kind of the appeal, but it's the drawback of that is that you don't know which card it is, uh, and you don't know what enemy it's gonna be on. So depending on you know what it chooses, it could just be it could be bad. Like it could pick a healing card and try to heal a protagonist that was fully like full HP. So it could be bad, but you'd have to, I guess, build your deck around that just being able to get the most use out of this. I feel like I feel like there's potential in these. And the colorless Joker, on the other hand, does kind of the opposite. Well, not the opposite. It takes a random card that you've already played, so something in your discard pile, and it plays it on a random target. So this one I feel like has more use because if you get it turn 2, you know exactly which card it's gonna pick. So that's why it's 2 turns instead of 4. And it also means that you can use maybe a card that's really good that only has like 1 or 2, and you can use it again if you happen to get it with this. So that's yeah. These are the more interesting ones I feel like, and just in general, a lot of trying to make some variety and some synergy between some of the cards here, but I'll show them off here in battle too. And I'll show off Feral and Donkey, because that's something else. So a lot of the stuff in battle in terms of like the visual effects have been changed, because there was, at least where the enemies were, I was getting to the point where like I really couldn't fit the enemies that I wanted to fit on screen into the area that they had been allowed. So I had to kind of move the action select over to the left to give room for the enemies. So as you can see, there's kind of space for them now. Uh, oh, okay, Farrell gets depressed. I think so. There we go. So it's the end of, or it's the start of the second turn. So we draw a card, and this time we happen to get Great Wind, Memento, and Armor Padding. We will do Great Wind, and there we go. So what's nice about that too is with right attacks, it used to have to take a character's turn, so you would have to like do that instead of like attacking or using a special attack, and that kind of brought up the issue of like, well, you're losing out on on an attack or a special attack if you're using a right attack. So this way, it just kind of happens without wasting any turns. So it's only a positive thing. So it's always in your best interest to play a card, obviously, and you have to. I mean, at least with how it's programmed right now. So okay. So, you saw Farrell got depressed a minute ago. There is a low chance of that happening each turn. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. I don't remember. I think it's around like 7% or something like that on each turn that he just randomly gets depressed. And, uh, that's just what happens. So he also doesn't have weapons. He has, well, I mean, I guess sword arts are kind of his weapons. Um, so and the deal with that is that you can pick any two that you'd like instead of just one. With the other characters, you get to choose a weapon, and it's like you get to use your melee attack and that weapon. Here, it's like he can use two sword arts of whatever the fuck he wants. So, use dual strike this time. Donkey is also cool because he has the snag ability. So he doesn't have his own items, but what he does is he can use the items of any other character, and that includes characters who have been knocked out as well. So, uh, kind of he at least my design for him is that he's more of an assist character than anything. He's not a character that really does well by himself. Um, he's more of like he makes a good team with the rest of the characters, and that's kind of the design. I've kind of been trying to give all the characters their own designs in that sort of way. Uh, like Shrek is more of a like damage dealer with some more attacks that are based more around like him taking damage. Like he has one called Payback, and that's not actually here because he hasn't learned it yet. But uh, essentially, what that does is like the more damage that he took last turn of like the percent of his HP, the more the attack actually does. So it can deal a lot of damage if he took a lot of damage the previous turn. And I am maybe planning to give him an option to like taunt an enemy and make them target him, but that's not programmed yet. So, um, and then Farrell doesn't have too many special attacks yet. He just has Abyssal Fate and Stream Strike, and his attacks are named stupid things because he named them himself. So, uh, so yeah, this is just Abyssal Fate is a dark attack that just might make enemies depressed, and then Stream Strike is an attack that hits everyone. So This is actually the only attack that the four of them have that can hit every single enemy at once, so there is some unique application to that. And with cards too, there's a card called Toxic Touch, I think that's what it's called. But it poisons every enemy you hit on that turn. So it's very good synergy with this move. Like you can use Toxic Touch on the Feral and then use Stream Strike and then poison every single enemy on the field at once. So it's good. Uh, Also, poison has been very buffed. Status effects have just been changed a lot, as I said. Um, I wish I could show it off, but I really can't because these guys don't deal like poison or anything. But uh, physical status effects actually stay with characters now. Um, like if you get poisoned, it'll like stay with you in the overworld, and you'll have it going into the next battle. And there are also items that you can get which can remedy that, and you can use those in the overworld too. So, yeah. I mean, that is most of what I have to show off, actually. I don't know how long it's been, but again, most of it is cutscene centered, and this is the cutscene that I have actually loaded right now. So as you can see, there is actually some stuff going on. This is proof. There is actually content to this game. So I'll go ahead and this is the push block tutorial, but just kind of get through it. So sort of the plot, I guess, setting up this game is that well, at least the intro is that uh Shrek is at his house and Donkey comes to get him, and Garfield's having a party of some sort, and Donkey doesn't remember what kind of party it is, but it's actually that John is throwing a birthday party for Odie. So Shrek reluctantly agrees after finding this out, but in the middle of it, uh, Plankton shows up, like from SpongeBob, and he uh, kind of just wrecks their house and tries to kidnap Odie. Uh, and of course they beat up Plankton, but Odie gets launched into the forest, and this is kind of what happens after that. So Garfield goes chasing after him. And then Garfield just kind of does what he does. So a lot of the work has been making these cutscenes. Uh, and there are a good amount of them. I think there are like 28 or so, or around 30-ish so far. So as you can see, this kind of unfolds on this dangerous metal loose platform. I really need sound effects for this, especially for that joke, because that's kind of the point of it. So, they are chasing after Odie, and they eventually end up here in the fungus labs, and this is where the first dungeon is. So, kind of the tutorial area, although it does need some work in terms, I think, of like difficulty. Uh, it's one thing to like make. It's one thing to make an area, and it's another thing to actually have it be uh well tuned in terms of difficulty. So that is eventually on on the game plan. But sorry for just watching this fold out and not really talking. But as you can see, there is content here, and this is the main thing that I've been working on for the last year or so. Uh, it was a lot of effort the to get it all done. Given there's still stuff to do, but and then this place also has music. But yeah, this I think is where I'll call it quits, because again, I've kind of reached the end of it. Um, well, not the end of the content, obviously, but all the stuff that I've wanted to show off, I guess, is mostly done. Um, don't know when the game is gonna be done. Again, I'm in college, and stuff is happening. So it's not the highest priority thing for me right now, but it will eventually get done. So anyway, that's it, I guess. So I don't know how long I've been talking for, but that's all the stuff I wanted to show off. Yay! All right. Goodbye.